Your final expense options. Most people get final expense insurance to cover funeral and burial costs, medical bills, and other end-of-life expenses, or even credit card debt. You can also choose to add protection to cover terminal illness and take advance payments for treatment or medical bills. Funeral expenses are getting higher and higher each year. In 1960, the average cost of a funeral without a vault was just over $700. In 1985, that number rose to $2,737. In 2014, the average cost was more than $8,500. For 2022, Oregon's average funeral expense is $10,418, and the costs will continue to rise. The least expensive final expense insurance and funeral plans in Oregon are as low as $1 a day. Yes, that's right. With a little long-term planning, you can ensure your final expense insurance will help your family exactly the way you want it to when you pass away. Types of final expense insurance. Term life. This is the least expensive final expense insurance option. It is a temporary coverage limited to a certain number of years, the term. Depending on your current age and other life factors, you may purchase a 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30-year term. Whole life. This is permanent coverage and includes a death benefit plus an investment. Some of the premium you pay every month goes to build cash value. It also usually is the most expensive form of coverage because most policies do not require a medical exam for approval because the risk is spread over more time. Guaranteed universal life. This policy is often referred to as a hybrid between term and whole life. Rates are a little more expensive than term life, but less expensive than whole life. And instead of selecting coverage for a limited number of years, you get to choose up until a certain age, such as 90, 95, 100, etc. How much does funeral insurance cost? The average final expense policy costs between $30 and $70 a month. Premiums depend upon health, age, and the amount of coverage. Of course, different burial insurance companies have different rate charts, but to give you an idea, consider a list of sample burial insurance rates for a 59-year-old woman who smokes. $5,000 worth of coverage for $22.65, $10,000 worth of coverage for $43.08, and $15,000 worth of coverage for $63.51 per month. Who qualifies for final expense insurance? We can find a burial insurance policy for almost everybody, but choosing the right plan saves money and gets you better benefits. For example, you can buy a guaranteed issue life insurance plan that accepts any qualified person from about age 50 to over 80. However, these plans impose a waiting period. If the insured person dies before this waiting period ends, the plan may only return premiums or pay some percentage of the face value. In some cases, it might be better to answer a few health questions and try to qualify for lower rates and a better payout. How can your family utilize the funds from your life insurance policy? We're sure you don't want your loved ones to worry about money while they're grieving. Your family may be able to use final expense insurance to pay for medical bills, nursing home or residential care, funeral service, burial or cremation, funeral flowers, music, and other funeral arrangements. It can also be used as a donation to a charity that means something to your family. Does final expense insurance expire? Depending on which final expense policy you choose, most final expense insurance plans don't expire as long as you continue paying the premiums. Are medical exams needed to get final expense insurance? In most cases, a medical examination is not required. Typically, coverage is granted based on the health-related questions on the application. Another good thing with final expense insurance is that it's very flexible. You can easily select a policy to pay for only the things you think are applicable. For example, if you just want your family to have enough money to cover your burial expenses, you can purchase only that amount. If you want to add more, you add more. It's that simple. And here's the most important part: the right amount. In selecting your final expense policy, you will have to determine how much coverage you should purchase. You'll need to determine how much is needed by your family in order to pay your funeral expenses, medical bills, or debts that you may leave behind. Don't worry, because we are here to guide you in every step. When you consult with us, you will have a number of different options to choose from to give your family the coverage that will help them the most. You will need to compare all of the different final expense insurance policies available to you. Health Plans in Oregon is here to help you, and there's no obligation to sign up.